Today on Mina Studio, we test out a budget on-camera wireless mic system. Welcome to Mina Studio. My name's Nathan. With me, as always, is my tech director, Ronald. You'll see him in a minute. He's going to help me open our test subject today. So today we are looking at the Pixel Vocal Air. I'm sorry, Vocal Air, Vocal Air. So the people at Pixel sent me this to test out. Professional wireless film and television recording microphone series. So this is basically a small wireless lav system that you can use directly on your camera. Seems like a good solution if you're doing like a online church thing and you're using a DSLR camcorder. You need a wireless mic to just go directly into that camera. Seems like it might work, so let's test it out. Ooh. Comes in a nice case. I like that. Don't worry, that one's my fault. It didn't come that way. So these little things here are the receiver and transmitter. It's very small. That's what you want though. USB cable. Everything's wrapped up very nicely. Second USB cable. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh, there's the microphone. Oh, that's nice. So here we have a lightning to 1/8 inch jack. So that's for using this system with an iPad or iPhone. That's nice they include that. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in here. That's one of your audio cables, and then I would assume this is your other audio cable. Alright, so we got the transmitter and receiver. We got a hot shoe mount. We got 2 audio cables, 2 USB, I assume cables for power. This is a lightning adapter for your iPhone or iPad, and then here is the wireless mic. Quite a bit. It comes in its own nice hard case. I love things that come with cases. This is a nice zippered hard case too. That's cool. But of course none of this matters if this doesn't work or doesn't sound good. So let's get to the testing. So first we'll test out the functionality, see how we set this thing up and get it working. Then we'll test the audio quality compared to those other microphones. Then finally we'll test out the range, see how far away from it we can get. So one presumably cool thing about this, although it could be a hindrance, depends on how it was built, is these do not take batteries, they're rechargeable. So they're built-in rechargeable batteries, which in general is a very nice feature as long as those batteries that are built in are decent. Just turn it on. There we go. Got a nice screen there. That's our receiver. Sorry, that's our transmitter. This is our receiver. There's my mouse. So, as you can see, they are very, very small, which is nice. So another nice thing, although I doubt I would ever use it, is that the receiver actually has a built-in microphone. Receiver has a built-in microphone there at the top. So if you didn't want to use a lavalier mic or didn't have one, which it came with, so I don't know why you didn't have one, or maybe just left it at home, you could use this with the built-in mic, clip that on like that, but one, that doesn't look great, and two, it probably doesn't sound as good. So we will test that built-in mic, but we're going to rely on the lavalier more so today. So at the bottom here we have settings, and then this is the volume level or the sensitivity level. Check, check. You can see, oh, it's receiving. We can see the waveform on both of them when I talk. It is a little delayed, but that's okay. It is nice that you can see that on both, so you know it is transmitting, and it does show us the channel here at the bottom, so you can make sure you have the same channel on both of them. The receiver also has a headphone jack up top so you can monitor the audio through the wireless receiver, which is really nice. So now we just have to put our receiver onto our camera. Plug it in. And put our lavalier microphone into the transmitter. Put that on and try it out. So since this is intended to be plugged directly into the camera, I'm going to compare it to other mics that are intended to be plugged in directly to the camera. So we're going to do this Pixel wireless system versus this that you're hearing me out of right now. This is the Deity shotgun mic. It would be very similar to like a Rode Video Mic Pro, those sort of on-camera shotgun mics. And then finally, just for comparison's sake, we'll do the on-camera audio, even though I know you would never use the on-camera audio, right? Right? Typically with these sort of things, you're going to be using it for speaking. I don't really know what you do with your camera, but in general, a wireless mic that plugs directly into a camera is going to be used for talking head videos, similar to what we're doing right now. So I'm going to read a book, Echo First Pulse, by my friend C. Scott Frank, to test out these microphones. So you'll see up here in the corner which microphone you are currently hearing. Group 15, beginning final approach. Lincoln Harris keyed the comm, sharing the update with the rest of his team. Stasis seems to be holding. Shuttle looks good. 15, huh? A sarcastic voice replied over the comm with a chuckle. Does that mean the next group can drive themselves? Stow it, Lincoln rolled his eyes. Zachary Gibbs always had something snide to contribute. After a year on this station with the man, it was starting to get old. Carrie Beck walked into the room, pulling her long brown hair into a ponytail. Oh, very funny. She made her way across the cramped control center, avoiding the monitors and control systems that filled much of the floor space. I'm so glad they chose a comedian for the team. That's a valuable skill in our line of work. The room wasn't small, but all of the equipment and lack of windows never ceased to make Lincoln uncomfortable. He'd often been told that the Navy was no place for a claustrophobic, and he couldn't agree more. Just when he thought that life was behind him, he'd found himself in another tin can in space. Figured. Hey, give me a break. I'm only trying to lighten the mood, Gibbs replied back on the comm. We can celebrate when we've licked this thing. A sharp edge in Lincoln's voice pierced the air. He needed to rally the troops back to the task at hand. Let's not forget what's happening outside our little slice of heaven. If this is heaven, can I try the other place? I'll send you there myself if you cannot shut up, Edward Ammon's accent voice cut in on the comm. You're just mad that I keep beating you in chess, Gibbs jibed. Don't fool yourself, Gibbs, Edward shot back. I don't want to hurt your feelings, fragile as you programmers are. Fragile, huh? How about I come over there and show you just how fragile? That's plenty, Lincoln nodded to Carrie. The woman pushed a few buttons on her tablet and the comms went dead, except for Lincoln's. Let's go off radio until our honored guests arrive. Finish up anything else you need to nail down before they arrive. I've set a system alarm for 60 minutes from now. Expect our new visitors to dock in 80 minutes. Should I get the party hats and lay out the welcome mat? Carrie's voice had a playful lit. Damien's latest research is in, if you want to take a look. Lincoln stifled a yawn. Is there anything I should be excited about? Well, no, not really. Now let's test the range of this microphone. I assume you'll probably be using this possibly in a church setting, where it may be some distance from the camera, but there won't be a lot of obstructions between you and the microphone, since it's probably on the camera. Or maybe you'll be at home in a room like this, where again you won't be very far and there won't be a lot of obstructions. So right now I'm about 20 feet from the camera, no obstructions, just in this room in my basement. Seems to be working just fine. Next I'm going to walk down there to the other side of the basement, go into a different room. That way we can see what it's like if there's some walls in the way. Let's go that way. Alright, so now I'm in a room about 40 feet away from the camera, maybe 40, 50 feet away from the camera. There is maybe 3 or 4 walls between me and the camera. I assume in general, if you're using this on the camera, this won't be the case because then the camera can't see you, obviously, if there's walls in the way. But if you are using the receiver off camera in another room, this would be helpful. So I'm about 40 to 50 feet away in a different room, probably 3 to 4 walls between me and the receiver. It's really creepy back here. So now we're in a more typical church setting. I am up on stage in the front of the room. Camera is near the back of the room, about 40 feet away. Obviously, if your camera was going to be that far away, you'd use a telephoto lens, not wide angle like I have. I just wanted to give you an idea of the distance. So again, I'm at the front. Camera is about 40 feet away from me with the receiver on top of the camera. I'm in an open room. There's no walls or any obstacles between me and the receiver. Okay, let's really test the range of this microphone, shall we? Here we go. Okay, all right. Let's just take this scooter down the block a little bit. You know what, now that I do this and realize it's December, this may have been a terrible idea. Okay, cold on a scooter in December. All right, okay, so down. Distance, to be honest. But obviously, again, in most cases where you're using this in a church, or especially a large church, I assume there's not going to be a whole lot of obstructions between the microphone receiver and the transmitter. Let's go a little farther, shall we? All right. I'll go all the way down to the end of the block here. Neighbors are looking at me a little weird. Why this guy's talking to himself really loud on the scooter. I'm not crazy, sir. I'm just doing a microphone test. All right. Okay. It's so cold. Oh, my scooter's trying to die because it's so cold. Maybe 100, 150 feet away. Maybe now 50 feet away or so. 30 feet, 20 feet, 10 feet, etc. All right, so there we go. So that's all the tests. We did functionality, we did audio quality, and we did range. So what's the verdict? Well, I'm torn. When it comes to functionality, the thing's fantastic. It works really well. It's tiny. It's very small to clip on you and to put on top of the camera. Probably most importantly, it's very simple and very easy to use. I assume a lot of people that will be using this probably aren't professional sound people or videographers. They just want a simple way to get sound to a camera. And it is very, very simple. You just plug one cable into your camera, put the receiver on the hot shoe mount on top of your camera, clip on the lav mic, and you're good to go. That's literally all you have to do to use this thing. I like the LCD screen on the receiver and transmitter so you can visually confirm that you're getting audio to your receiver. And I tested out the rechargeable batteries. I turned them on at full charge. I left them sitting under my TV with the TV on, so I know they were actually broadcasting audio using battery in that way. And I had to go to bed. So for me, they lasted at least 8 hours. It says on the box 6, so I probably wouldn't promise more than 6, but I can confirm that mine definitely lasted for 6 hours broadcasting audio. Mine lasted longer, probably 8, 10 hours. I don't know. They died somewhere in the night when I was asleep. So actually using this thing is great. Now, when we talk about audio quality and range, that's where it starts to get a little more fuzzy. Starting with audio quality, if you listen to the test where I'm reading the book and you compare this lav mic to the shotgun mic, I don't think there's any comparison. I think the shotgun mic is 10 times better sounding. Now I will admit I usually like the sound of shotgun mics better than lavs across the board, so that might be a little biased on my side. If you take away that comparison, if you don't listen to that, but only listen to where I'm speaking in the church or I'm speaking while riding my scooter, and you're only hearing the lav mic, I don't think it sounds bad at all. In fact, if I was watching a video where there wasn't a comparison, I was just hearing that lav mic, I don't think I would think to myself, oh, this is a terrible sounding video. So if you listen to that audio comparison and thought, oh, this sounded terrible, go back and only listen to the church and the scooter ride by itself and see what you think about the audio quality there. I think your ears get used to the different sound very quickly. But if that lav mic is the weak point and you want to use the system, you could actually just buy a new lav mic. The lav mic plugs into the transmitter with just a standard 1/8 inch plug. And finally, the range. So the range is an interesting one because this did not have a great range compared to other wireless mics I've tested. In fact, when I tried out the AKG Mini in my house, which is the mic we use for church, the AKG Mini wireless system, I could walk around my whole upstairs in all the different rooms, and I never had any interference or any cutting out at all. With this lav mic, when I walked into that other room, you could hear it kind of start clicking and trying to cut out. So it definitely isn't as strong of a signal as, say, the AKG Mini or other full-size wireless mic systems, which honestly is to be expected because this is tiny and there's no antenna or anything like that. But the flip side to all this is this was built to be an on-camera wireless mic system. So when using it for the purpose it was intended, having the receiver on the camera and talking to the camera, then it's great. Because you probably won't be in another room because then the camera couldn't see you. And in most cases, you probably won't be 75 or 100 feet away from the camera you are talking to. I think the best test for how most people would use this was when I was standing in front of the church testing this mic. If you go back and watch that video, it worked very well. There was no interference, it wasn't trying to cut out at all. And interestingly, the audio quality kind of sounded better because when I was in the church, I was naturally projecting. And it sounded better in the lav because the lav could pick me up better. When I was sitting here reading the book, I was reading at normal inside volume level. So the lav, I guess, couldn't pick me up as well. I got more mids, got more of my chest voice because I was talking lower. So I would definitely recommend this mic in those cases. If you're going to be, say, within 20 to 30 feet of the camera, and you're going to be talking to the camera in a loud, clear voice, then I think this is a fantastic budget option. It worked very well. It was very simple to use. I think people who didn't know anything about mics or audio could figure this out very quickly. Now, if you're going to be experimenting a bit more, maybe you're making short films where you may be walking into other rooms with walls between you, or you may be really far away, then this might not be the best option, but I imagine you would have to spend way more money to get something that could go on camera and have those features you would need. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Also hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos just like this, and myself and Ronald will see you next week. So, my scooter died. Uh-oh.